ahead. Poppy's carriage soon flickered to black. She held her breath and counted 8 seconds before the train shot out at the other end. She and Mum would do that in the car when they went through tunnels in London. The longest they'd manage was 43 seconds. Poppy's heart chugged in time to the train's engine. "Stop it, you stupid thing," she said to the spot on her chest where she imagined her heart must be. Glancing down the long swaying carriage, she noticed, perhaps for the first time, a tall woman at the other end beside the sliding doors. She was looking straight ahead out of the window, her hands clasped around a thin silver cane. "She doesn't look as if she needs a cane," Poppy thought to herself quietly. If people did need support getting about, they would use a walking frame nowadays, or one of those nippy little mobility scooters, or those chair lifts that old people sometimes have on the stairs. The lady was wearing a velvet jacket with an assortment of glittering pins. On her head was a silver cap, and from it poked a feather so curled that it almost vanished against the dark rings of hair spiralling out from underneath. The lady was smiling, a smile that said she knew Poppy was watching her. Without looking away from the window, the lady removed one of her green gloves and dipped her hand into her pocket, just long enough for Poppy to see her knobbly fingers. Poppy's heart gave a thump in her chest. The lady's hands weren't like her face at all. Her face was like glass, but her hands were like speckled paper. Poppy turned away for a moment, but only so far that she could still see what was happening. From her pocket, the lady pulled a small purse that was the same colour as her jacket. Opening the purse, she found a compact mirror and adjusted one of her curls a little with a hooked finger. To either side of the train, the black trees of the woods which surrounded Suds rose above them, like twisted chimneys. Poppy hadn't noticed the second tunnel approaching, and before she knew it they were plunged into darkness. She held her breath again and counted. 1, 2, 3. She heard a sharp tap on the carriage floor. 4, 5, 6. She closed her eyes. 7, 8, 9. Daylight flooded back in, and Poppy could see the rusty eaves of Suds station up ahead. She looked around the carriage. The lady was gone. How could she be? The train had only been in the tunnel for 9 seconds. Perhaps she'd just moved along to the next carriage. But Poppy hadn't heard the doors sliding open. The voice over the train speaker garbled something about taking all belongings with you, and this train terminates here. She heaved her backpack onto her narrow shoulders and positioned herself beside the doors. Then she noticed the lady's purse, lying forgotten on a seat. It was almost the exact same colour as the quiet green fabric of the carriage upholstery. Poppy wouldn't have noticed it if she hadn't been spinning in circles as she struggled to squeeze her arm through the strap of her bulging backpack. The doors opened, a sharp gust of autumn wind plunged into the carriage, and instead of thinking, like she always did, Poppy snatched the purse and stuffed it into one of her wonderfully big pockets. Chapter 1. Cloth. "Take the key from around my wrist," Gran told Poppy when they arrived back at her house. Poppy had visited Gran just once before, when she was 3 or 4, and Mum had driven her up for the day. After that, Gran took the train down to visit them a handful of times, but otherwise Poppy only really got to talk to her on the phone. It didn't matter, though, because Gran's house smelled the same way that she remembered Gran did, of dark wood, musk and sugar. "Go to the cabinet by the fireside and open it just a little." Poppy did as she was told. "Now, using only one hand, lift the lid from the jar wrapped in cheesecloth." Poppy obeyed. Churchill